What's good, Zelda crew? D-Rock here, and if you are new to Zelda Theory, I need you to know that Ocarina of Time is easily in my top 3 of the best Zelda games ever made. I know I'm not alone there. There's way too many reasons why it's ranked so high for me, man. I could literally spend days on that, but for this video specifically, I'm going to go over one of the most emotional moments for me from Ocarina of Time that's never really talked about in the Zelda community, and it's definitely worth mentioning that this moment in the game is 100% missable, so make sure you watch the entire video all the way through so you don't miss out on this extremely emotional, missable moment in Ocarina of Time, and why I think Nintendo made a huge mistake doing this. One of the most memorable moments in The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is part of an entirely optional quest line and isn't as necessary to the game's completion as you might think. In fact, I'm willing to bet that a lot of the community finds it illogical that the game would make this mission we will dive into today optional, as it introduces, in my opinion, extremely important reoccurring characters in the Zelda universe and a companion that makes traversing the landscape of the game much more tolerable. Why, Nintendo? Why do you make it seem that the quest to save our trusty noble steed is not a necessary part of the adventure? You make it seem like the introduction of this beloved horse companion is better left as an optional discovery, which, as I said before, I completely disagree with. Let me explain, Zelda crew. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is the first game in the franchise to have 3D graphics, which allowed you the ability for the very first time to travel an open world map per se, which was revolutionary for its time and was one of the many reasons why Ocarina of Time was recently placed in the Video Game Hall of Fame. I'm still not sure why it took so long to get it put there, but it is what it is, I guess. I mean, at least they finally did it. The game was originally released on the Nintendo 64 in 1998, which would have made your boy D-Rock here 6 years young, and Ocarina of Time's story follows Link through the Kingdom of Hyrule, entering dungeons and restoring the Triforce in order to stop Ganon from conquering the world. You know, it's the stereotypical Legend of Zelda vibe, right? With a mighty ocarina in hand, you get to use songs learned along the way to clear dungeons, overrun with Ganondorf's monsters, and help restore the homes of several different inhabitants of Hyrule Kingdom. With this title being considered one of the best games of the franchise by many of us in the Zelda fandom, and being well known for its introduction of Epona, it seems completely bizarre and extremely odd to even think of playing this masterpiece of a game without her. I think one of the major reasons why Nintendo decided to make Epona's origin in Ocarina of Time is so that you and I, Zelda crew, were able to travel from one location to another with ease, since building out the game three-dimensionally added a lot of extra distance between areas. If you don't believe me here, the next time you play Ocarina of Time, try and go from Hyrule Castle all the way to the Gerudo Desert with no horse, no backflips, no rolling, nothing. Just walk. Once you do that, come back to this video and drop a comment and let me know how it went. With a very clear need for transportation and the execution of a solution for that need, it's so strange and odd to me as a huge fan of this game, especially that Epona's rescue is set up as an optional mission, right? Not only is the ability to obtain her left up to us, Zelda crew, but the necessary steps to get the horse companion feel super complicated to me. If you do decide not to explore Hyrule Field after the first encounter with Zelda, Epona may not be obtainable later, and like me, the very first time playing Ocarina of Time, you would have 100% missed out on one of the most memorable and most rewarding moments in Ocarina of Time. And by the way, here on Zelda Theory, I create a ton of Zelda content like Zelda news and speculation videos, countdowns, walkthroughs, and so much more. So if you are enjoying the content so far, remember to subscribe and turn on notifications for any and all things Zelda. I appreciate you. In case you are completely unaware or are just new to the Zelda franchise, Epona's quest begins once you wake Talon, an Ocarina of Time NPC that sort of resembles Mario. Totally ironic, by the way. as this will trigger Malon, his daughter, to return to Lon Lon Ranch. During the story of Ocarina of Time, you must visit the ranch as both young Link and adult Link to secure Epona. Malon will give young Link Epona's song, a staple in the Zelda series. I mean, come on now. And adult Link will need to beat Ingo, Ganon's underling, who takes the ranch over in a race, who looks like an evil Luigi. The cameos never seem to end with Nintendo games. Anyways, even once you manage to defeat Ingo, the douchebag locks the gate in and out of Lon Lon Ranch, and with no other way out, you need to speed up to the back wall of the farm. It kind of looks like a fence, and trigger the scene of Link hopping over it on Epona's back. This scene is a direct victory against the rise of Ganon, as Ingo is a henchman of the evil king, and Epona was meant to be given to Ganondorf. Zelda Crew, it's such an amazing cutscene that I just wish wholeheartedly that Nintendo didn't make optional. I'm sure a lot more fans of the Zelda franchise would have had the same connection that I did after I realized how important Epona is to the story of Ocarina of Time, specifically to Link as the hero, as well as a recurring character in the Legend of Zelda series. While the Legend of Zelda has many notable characters, such as Sheik, who, by the way, should reappear in Tears of the Kingdom. I mean, I can dream, can't I? Epona sits near the top as one of the best companions, in my opinion, of the entire franchise. Although developers for Ocarina of Time could not have foreseen the horse's popularity, which I totally understand, there are still valid reasons for the questline to have been made a more permanent part of the story, and I hope I made that clear. If you do skip this mission, you will miss Malon, a reoccurring character in the Zelda franchise, and not securing Epona will make traveling in-game, especially through Hyrule Field, much more taxing and way more tedious. Trust me, Zelda Crew. With all of this in mind, and taking into account the amazing moment of rescuing this beautiful horse, which will turn out to be one of Link's best friends, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time just seems as though it doesn't really care if we miss Epona's questline. It's such a shame. Not for long though, because hopefully after this video, Epona will finally start to get some more love, as well as this missable moment. And look, if you're watching this video, I'm willing to bet that you, my friend, are a huge fan of the Legend of Zelda series. Which Zelda game is your favorite? I'm dying to know. Let me know in the comments below. One of my all-time favorites is Ocarina of Time, Zelda Crew, which after this video should be pretty obvious. I have to be honest though, the very first time I played Ocarina of Time and looked at a ton of the lore from the game, I completely missed this crazy plot hole in the game, so you have to click on this video next because it's going to go over that said plot hole that is extremely important to me, and it might be to you as a Zelda fan, because I always appreciate all of the hidden details in this franchise. Much love, Zelda Crew, be the light, and remember that it is dangerous to go alone, so click this Zelda video now. I'll talk to you over there, crew.